All right, again, my name is Jason Lamon. I'm the marketing team leader at Fishbowl Solutions, and in today's webinar, we're going to be discussing the benefits of Google Search for your Oracle Web Center or Liferay portal. Here's the agenda for today's discussion. We're going to first talk about, first introduce who Fishbowl is, who we are, and what we do, and then get into a little bit about, why we're here. So there are search challenges that companies have been experiencing with their portal. So we're gonna look at some of those challenges and how the GSA can help with that, or how Google Search can help with that. We'll then dive a little bit further onto what those benefits are that Google provides in the enterprise when it comes to extending the power and reach of their search capabilities to users in the workplace. I've also included some industry data, hopefully not too much, but one of the things that continues to come up is how do you justify, an enterprise search system in your workplace. So, we're going to be talking about Google Search today, and as the world leader, they've done a lot of analysis on that, and they've worked with analyst companies to really help vet out what is the business value and help organizations justify that. As I mentioned, talking about some of the search challenges within a portal, a lot of things that we're going to be talking about today, some of those capabilities, they don't currently exist in the portal, and we'll discuss how the GSA, along with some of the Fishbowl software components, help enable those features within the portal. And then we'll give a demo on our portal search suite solution. That'll be, just kind of show the ins and outs of some of the capabilities that we've included through some portlets that now we've extended to both Liferay and WebCenter portal. At the end, we'll have some time for questions, but I also wanted to cover off on a few housekeeping items today. This webinar is being recorded, so anyone that registered for the webinar, we will send you a link to the recording. Again, we're going to talk about the benefits of Google Search as it applies to using or extending search within a portal. I'm not going to get very technical today. I'm going to mention and introduce the Google Search Appliance GSA Portal Search Suite that we developed to extend the search capabilities to Liferay or Web Center. But next week at the same time, so Wednesday, October 22nd, my associate Kim Nagard will be going a little bit more in depth on how we've actually brought some of those search capabilities and features to Liferay or Web Center portal. So with that, a quick minute or two on Fishbowl Solutions. So Fishbowl's been in the content management and portal space for about 14 years. We've worked a lot and extensively within Web Center content and portal, and we've developed solutions to further enable those technologies or those systems for users across the enterprise. And one of the ways that we've done that is by leveraging Google Search. So we're also a Google Search partner or Google partner, and we provide services and software components for the Google Search appliance. Ultimately, for us, our mission is to help organizations solve costly and frustrating knowledge sharing problems. So not only managing the content that is critical for your business, but helping the users within an organization find that information. We have various components that we've built out, software components for the GSA, the Google Search Appliance. As shown here, our evolution with those products, we started at about 3 years ago developing connectors for Web Center content. So really extending the Google Search features to what you have when you use Web Center content or universal content management. Since that release, we've built out and talked to customers that also wanted to bring all the YouTube and video content that they have directly in context of their website or portal. So being able to index YouTube content as well and serve that up in the context of your website. For CAD organizations or product lifecycle management companies using Windchill, on the PTC side, we've also developed a connector for that system as well. So helping engineers find information quickly with the value using Google as well. And now today, we're going to be talking about GSA Portal Search Suite. So we released this just last month. and this is version 1.0. So again, I'll introduce kind of some of the features and functionality of that product a little bit later on in the webinar. For all information regarding our Google software and services, I included a link at the bottom. You can find more information on our website. But why we're here today? So we're really here today to talk about extending the value and reach of Google Search to your enterprise portal, to your WebCenter or Liferay portal. And what we hope to accomplish is, finding information in an organization continues to be a challenge. We've seen that. I mentioned we've been working with WebCenter for many years. So we continue to hear that one of the challenges is just finding information with a WebCenter-based system, and as well as customers using Liferay. So we really wanted to provide information on the value of Google as it applies to search within your portal. And then now, as I mentioned, we built out a software component that really helps you kind of out of the box extend that. That will help you out of the box extend some of those Google features that you're accustomed to on Google.com to your portal within your workplace. So I wanted to touch on a little bit regarding enterprise portals. So portals have been around for 15 plus years or so, and really what the goal of a portal is to really serve up and aggregate all enterprise information to users basically in one view. So kind of provide that one-stop shop for information. Also, the goal is really provide relevant content to the person that's logged in. So if you're in HR or you're an engineer, once you log in, it's going to provide relevant information regarding your role or the group that you're in. However, we continue to hear from customers that have built out a portal or are in the process of building out a portal, and they're still challenged by a lot of different things. I've just included some data here from Gartner. Some of these statistics seem somewhat alarming, but not surprising given the complexity of portals, but also the adoption's been low regarding the user experience. But one thing that Gartner found is that 40% of portal initiatives fail to garner adequate adoption to achieve ROI. And so what that points to is the general user or their overall user experience once the person comes to the portal and what they're looking for. If they can't find or easily navigate to that information, they might not come back, so adoption goes down. And then overall, 10 to 15% of portal initiatives get scrapped. So these organizations have these plans to build out this really personalized, flashy, next-generation portal, and for whatever reason along the way, they find that it's just not going to work like they had intended, and the use cases that they might have had are not in alignment with what they're able to do with the technology. So, but overall, what we continue to hear as WebCenter consultants and working with a lot of customers that have built with or wanted to build out a portal or using a portal is that user experiences just suffer. Just the overall usability of the portal is difficult, and again, finding information continues to be a challenge. So what does search have to do with that? So the challenges that I mentioned in the previous slide, those aren't related to search per se. The search isn't the number one reason that portal initiatives fail or anything like that, but in the grand scheme of an enterprise, organizations want to provide the most relevant content and serve up all the assets that they built out to the users. So again, providing some data just for some context. If you look at this, at the graph on the right here from International Data Corporation, 76% of company executives considered information mission critical. So we all know this. I mean, that's all something we all know, either as managers or knowledge workers in an organization. To do my job and to do it effectively, I got to find relevant information to help me do that. I mean, I have to also find the relevant people to help me out with that, with my job or my job tasks. But 60% of those people, those same companies feel that there's time constraints and lack of understanding on how to find information. So employees are faced with, where does that information exist? What repository does it exist in? Should I just continue to store stuff in my file share or on the file share or on my local desktop? So not knowing the location to go and find enterprise information continues to be a challenge. And if you break that down into how much time knowledge workers spend per day, this analyst company found that about 2.5 hours per day, or roughly 30% of a workday, are just spent searching for information. And so if the last stat there, 35 to 50% of the information available within an enterprise is not centrally indexed. So again, that goes back to the problem of, you have all these assets, they might be stored in multiple repositories, and for many different reasons, they're not getting indexed and served up to the people that need them. So again, we know that finding information in an organization continues to be problematic. And how that relates to what we've seen on the portal side is across many different areas. I've highlighted the ones that we'll kind of vet out here more, and I'll discuss a little bit further on in the presentation. But in general, when you think about the user experience on a portal and finding information, what we've heard from customers and kind of what customers have said throughout the industry is that the search experience that they have on the portal isn't like or doesn't match what they get on a public website. Or even their own public website, where they have some of those Google.com search features that they've grown accustomed to. And in general, just searching on the portal, they're not able to find information as quickly as they would on the public web for whatever they're looking for. And that really comes down to, if we're looking on the column on the left there, the other bolded bullet on the bottom, which says poor relevancy of search results within WebCenter and Liferay. So relevancy is key. So based on who you are, the logged in user, the group or role that you're a part of, but helping with the results that are returned, ranking them so that you're finding them quickly, and then that you can take that information and apply it. You can go on and do your job task. You can share knowledge with a colleague. You can develop that next great product because you have some of that information that you needed to do so. So relevancy continues to be an issue within enterprise portals, including WebCenter and Liferay. I did skip one. Sorry. So there are little things that users have grown accustomed to on the public web from a search perspective, such as spelling suggestions. Obvious things like that. They're just not available in the portal. Users aren't able to exploit features like that to find the information that they need or are looking for. And then the ability to promote specific content. So based on what you're looking for or what you're looking to make sure that as an organization users are seeing when they're doing searches, important HR documents or things like that, they're not able to do that as well. So there's many different problems that we've seen, and for the ones that we've seen in portal, the ones that I just discussed seem to resonate the most across the customers we've talked to. So if you're able to provide effective search within the portal and provide better quality of results, increase relevancy, it really can enhance the user experience. So I did touch on a little bit about the problems that organizations that have rolled out a portal have had. There's a lot of failures. The user experience is down. Adoption is down. Well, if you are able to extend effective search to a portal, it really can enhance the user experience. So once they come to the portal, if they're not able to find what they're looking for through navigation, search and providing relevant results in the search system can keep them there on the portal to find that information, that asset, and then act accordingly on it. And by doing that, they can really save a lot of time. So ultimately, the goal of the portal is to provide that information in context, help them find that information, act upon it, and then kind of move on. So just the amount of time savings that you would see with effective search on a portal can greatly enhance that experience as well. So if the portal, as I mentioned before, becomes that one-stop shop for information, by serving up all the enterprise assets and content that you want users to be able to find and have access to, the portal becomes that location. And it can do that across many different systems and repositories. And that's again a goal of the portal. So removing the barriers to information. Don't impede me from acting or doing my job the most effective that I can, or reaching out to someone else and increasing the knowledge sharing across an organization, help me get to that information so I can act upon it accordingly. And what we've also seen is that if you're not able to find information, you know, a lot of smart people, they're like, well, I'll just do that on my own. I'll recreate it, you know, create the next great product next great product and create documentation around it. So you can actually drive that down and then decrease that overall by making sure that that information can be found. And so then at the end of the day, then what you're left with, or what you have, is this concept of a self-service portal, which most organizations hope that one day their portal becomes. Users go to the portal, they find the information relevant to their role, their job, they find company information, and then basically from the portal then, that the portal becomes the gateway to all information across an enterprise. So why Google search for your portal? So I mentioned that, you know, we've been doing content management portals for portal work for a long time. Why Google search? So it really comes down to, you know, we want to provide best-in-class solutions for organizations. So really, you know, taking a look at what Google was able to do by bringing the power and reach of the search capabilities on the public web into the enterprise. And that's really rooted in their space, that they were in the internet or public internet space, where they were able to really help organizations increase the time spent on public websites for public viewers of information on a public website. And Google really has become the leader in this space. You know, you probably use Google.com, you know, daily, weekly, if not daily, to search for your next vacation, to find, you know, to look at your next automobile, whatever it might be. But you go to Google.com, you type in some keywords, and it just works. You're able to find your information very quickly. And so in the enterprise, a lot of users are coming to IT and saying, well, why can't it just work like Google? And so Google really has taken a look at that and the concept of the consumerization of IT, and then looking at bringing that into the enterprise. So basically, they want to provide the tools that you have on the public website into the enterprise so that you can find information. So we've always, you know, Google continues as the world leader to, and no one really knows how they do this, but they're the world leader because they have these algorithms where they're doing about 500 changes to it every year, and they go through a lot of testing and experiments to make sure that you know, all the tests across, all the searches across the website, the internet, are returning relevant results to users, that they're finding the information that they need and can move on to what they're looking to do with that information. And Google's able to do this at scale. So again, with all the tests that they perform and you know, the scientific research that they do, they're doing this across a lot of different test sets that they're looking at. So trillions of URLs are going through their search engine, you know, and they're taking that data and they're really using it and analyzing it to make sure that the search experience is the best that it can be for the users. So we're going to talk about some of the signals that they look at, but they look at about 200 signals to help users find the information that they need, keywords and things like that. And all these experiments they do on the public website, on their public web, Google.com, they've now taken those experiments and that data and are applying it to the enterprise. And they're applying it to the enterprise through the Google Search Appliance. So the Google Search Appliance is an on-premise search solution. Basically, it brings all the search expertise and the features that users are familiar with through Google.com into the enterprise, basically an all-in-one scalable box. So it provides that Google-like search experience for businesses to index and retrieve information from file shares, databases, content management systems, like I mentioned with WebCenter, portal systems, like I mentioned with WebCenter Portal and Liferay, ERP systems, and other internal data. So it provides that searchability that we're all used to in Google.com, the relevance, but then really enhances that with specific enterprise or business capabilities that make location and discovery faster, making it secure and making it more business relevant, so providing information based on the user and the group role that they're in, and then really helping them through metadata find, through dynamic navigation and other features, find the information that they're looking for very quickly. So I mentioned some of the areas where they're able to get information from and index that information and serve it up. Well, Google really is a leader in that space from that perspective. So the concept of universality, no matter where information exists, the GSA can go out and find that information and return it to the user. So within businesses and organizations, you have a line of business system that has data. Not everyone knows that such data exists in that, so they don't have that one search location to go out and find that information. They don't know about that system even. They might not even know that they can go to that system to find that information. So really, you risk not being able to share enterprise information or business-specific, line of business-specific information that needs to be shared with others across the organization to those users. So with the Google Search Appliance, you can search across all these disparate systems and provide the information that the user is looking for in a single screen. Can provide unified access and searchability to an organization's content regardless of where it resides. So they have connectors that they've built out. Some of the ones are listed here. For file shares, websites, database systems, Oracle, database systems like Oracle, or enterprise content management systems like SharePoint 2013, OpenText LiveLink, EMC Documentum, and IBM FileNet. So they're just really good at providing these connectors that you can then deploy within your organization to go out and find that information that's contained in those systems. The other thing that it does is it supports a lot of different file types. So the various file types that are coming out of these systems, Office documents, PDFs, and HTML, and many other business application formats, those can all be surfaced and returned to the user in the results set. And Google's the market leader, so just including some of the customers that they're working with, many of the Fortune 500 companies work with them, but they've been identified as the market leader within search, and it's no surprise, right? Again, they've taken their industry-leading relevancy and algorithms that they have on Google.com, and they've just applied it to Google Search Appliance. So for the majority of the rest of our time today, I'm going to focus on how Google has been able to take some of those features that we experienced on Google.com and bring them into the enterprise. So how those features get surfaced to the users, and what are the benefits of those features. And I've broken those down into 3 different areas. So again, the popular search features that we're used to help suggest appropriate content to the user through such things as spelling suggestions, dynamic navigation, and user-added results, for example. Also relevancy. So I mentioned the 200 signals that they use to make sure that when a search is being performed, the most relevant content is being returned to the user to help them find what they're looking for. And then the other piece of that is securing that content. So maybe you don't want to serve up all the content and make that available to all users. So you can secure that content based on the credentials of the user and respecting your protocols that are already in place. But it's important that we understand that to realize, so these benefits get realized because of the various things that Google does to make sure that this information can be found, and basically allow users to have a conversation with, this is what I'm looking for, have some results returned, and then kind of narrow down the search from there. And that starts from those 3 things are the query, the ranking, and the display. So the first step starts with the query. So what exactly is the user looking for? And as they enter that information, Google, as I mentioned, is so does such a great job. They're the industry leader in making sure that whatever's being looked for, something gets returned and then the search can be narrowed down from there. And really, they want this to work out of the box with minimal tuning and optimization necessary. Again, it comes back to the users just want it to work like Google. I'm going to provide you some information. Give me some results back, and then I can use the other features available on from what's present to find exactly what I'm looking for. And another great thing that they do is they really analyze the behavior, the user behavior in an organization. So based on the searches that are taking place, all that information can be captured to determine what content gets ranked at the top. And so then over time, relevancy just gets better and better, and it enables employees to work even more productively. So one of the search features that they offer in the enterprise through the GSA are search suggestions. So basically suggesting alternative search terms or related queries based on an end user's original search term. So as you can see from the screenshot here, searching on Fishbowl, our company name, you'll have a list of other suggestions that get expanded, so that helps you as you're thinking about what you want to search for presenting a list to you that might be something that even is more relevant to you, and that's exactly what you were searching for. So again, over time, as these searches are performed, this knowledge and the searches that take place in an organization can be expanded across an organization, so that as the new users come on or new employees come on, some of these searches are already there, just helping them get to that information as quickly as possible. Some other features that they provide are synonyms and word stemming. So this is really, again, done without much or any input from the end user for a search term. The GSA, the Google Search appliance, can expand a query by adding synonymous terms. So this helps the end users get to terms or phrases or words that they might otherwise miss. And so this is what they call query expansion. So for example, if end user searches on the term documentation and the search appliance returns results for that keyword documentation. However, the end user might miss results for other words that might be like documentation, such as guide or guides or manual. And so really the search becomes wider and returns an increased number of relevant results. And in addition to suggesting alternative search terms, related queries can also suggest more specific keyword searches, such as your own product names or your own policy names, or things that your organization is known for. So you can also create and upload custom synonyms as well. So you can so basically within the GSA you can it's very flexible. So if there are specific synonyms that you want applied to searches within your organization, you can do that. So it makes it very open to improving the search through synonyms and word stemming that you can apply to your own GSA. Here's just an example of that. So for example, if someone searches on ordering process, if stemming and synonyms aren't present, it'll return matches only for that phrase, ordering process. But if stemming and synonyms are used, you'll see things such as results returned such as processing new orders, order management process, and ordering process. So that combination can again help you start thinking about, well, what really was I looking for? And here's a suggestion that they provide that I just basically can click on then and get to that relevant information. Another example are Universal Content Management, or UCM 11G install. So you might get a guide return that would walk you through the installation of that product. And again, UCM is WebCenter content. So what's provided then is WebCenter Content 11G install guide, or UCM 11G installation guide. That one is part of it, or Universal Content Management 11G install guide. So again, just providing more options for you to click on to get to that information. The last one here, Dr. Robert Olson. Without stemming, nothing might get returned, but through that feature, that capability, you might have results that return for the physical biography for Dr. Robert Olson, as well as an article that he wrote called Heart Health Question and Answer. So just some examples of those capabilities available through synonyms and word counting. So the next piece is ranking. With ranking, this is where really Google stands out. Is it uses an automatic self-learning score to do this. So it, as I mentioned before, it automatically analyzes the user behavior in your organization and the specific links that users clicking on for specific queries to fine-tune relevance and scoring. So the search appliance uses some very complicated regression and algorithms to do this and to determine the statistical significance of this user behavior, and then adjust for what's called bias or trust bias. That is, for example, users only ever clicking on the first result just because it's the result on the top. So with their ranking algorithm over time, results become more and more precise without the need for administrator intervention. And that's really their ability to, their relevance algorithm is being able to take that information, make it relevant, and then display that to the user. So the results that the user is looking for are displayed. So by default, the GSA Google combines some matching analysis and PageRank technologies to do this, and to provide the users with these highly relevant results. So again, I mentioned they use about 200 different signals to do this, and it incorporates all those signals in their algorithm, and also all the tests that I mentioned before that they do, Google.com, to deliver the most relevant results to users. So some of those signals, for example, are keywords. So in a document or content item, how many times a keyword is mentioned, or just how many times the keyword exists in the document, how close a keyword phrase is to each other, words in the title, all that what can carry more weight for what gets displayed, including metadata in the document. And again, out of the box, these can all be tuned. These come out of the box and then can be tuned going forward to make any content items more relevant. I gave the example about HR for HR having some benefits information or documents needed for employee onboarding that you can make those become more relevant, so those get included as part of a result set for keyword searches. And then it comes down to display. So really, Google wants to make sure that the user is able to find what they're looking for, find those things by relevance, and then display them. So different users want, or just different users have different search experiences. So this becomes very flexible with the GSA. With the GSA, you can create specific search-based displays or applications based on the knowledge worker. So if you're an IT or research scientist, based on the content that you'd be looking for, your experience could be different. So you could have access to all enterprise information, but based on what you're looking for to do your research for customer service. If you're in customer service, then you need information more relevant to helping customers solve problems. And as you do your searches, the collections of content that will be returned to you might be different than other users. But again, this allows that the most relevant information that you're looking for will be returned. So some of the ways that Google helps users navigate through this display is, and taking a step back, the idea of Google's wanted to take the idea of past legacy search systems started with this long metadata form where you fill out a bunch of metadata. You fill out 4 or 5, 6 different fields. You click on search, and you might have some things returned, or you might not, or what gets returned isn't really what you're looking for. So Google's kind of flipping that and taking it from that form-based approach to, here, tell me what you want through some keywords, through a keyword or keyword phrases. I'll show you what exists containing those keywords or keyword phrases, and then help you refine from there. And some of the ways they help do that are through facets, metadata, and snippets. So A faceted search menu, or also known as dynamic navigation, can be applied to your portal. So on the left here, as you click on, or as you search for a particular term like Fishbowl, it'll show you based on that keyword what documents or what content exists containing that keyword, and then you can click on those and drill down to those specific items. So really, what this helps do is classify the various content that exists in organizations, those pages of information, into categories, or intelligently group them. So it becomes a combination of searching and browsing information in this active interface for the user. So they can refine their query based on clicks and narrowing down their search to get a more specific result set. And so I'll show this in the demo as well, but this really helps users guide them to what they're actually looking for as they do their searches. Another great thing within the interface is previews and thumbnails. So helping users sort through, all the information that might get returned with their query, helping them sort through all that information and view the actual results that exist. So through previews and thumbnails, they can click on items and get a little thumbnail, a view of what that item looks like, and if they're either familiar with the layout or familiar with the content or how it's structured, they would say through that, they would be able to know through that preview that yes, that is the content item I'm looking for. I'm going to click on it and then consume that information and again act on it. So this report, the GSA provides previews for Microsoft Word documents, PowerPoint. So as you're able to get your results set and quickly look at those various content items and various forms, again getting into that information as soon as possible. But also providing thumbnails. So having a result set and being able to sort that by either a list view or thumbnail view. The thumbnails a lot of times can provide enough information or context that that's what you're looking for, so you can click on that as well. So again, another way that they, from a display perspective, help users, help knowledge workers find the information that they're looking for as quickly as possible. The last piece, and this is the key within the enterprise, is so what about security? How do I ensure that only the right person can, that based on their credentials, gets access to information that they need? So, like I mentioned, in some cases, you don't want your employees to search for everything based on the various groups that you might have. So that the GSA really gives organizations the flexibility to ensure that the right people get to search on the right things. So again, the keyword there is flexible. So it's designed to utilize and leverage the security protocols and policies you already have in place. And so as users are logged in and they're doing their searches, they'll only have access to what their enterprise credentials allow. So it's really designed to provide search results that match users' privileges across all the various systems, and do so with speed. So listed there are some of the integrations that are provided, but just know that as they're doing searches, wherever that content might exist, and if it's searchable and can be returned, the security protocols for that content, and based on that system that it's stored in or where they're accessing it from, those protocols will be respected throughout all that content. So again, as an enterprise solution, then you should know that you're going to provide better access to information, but you're going to ensure that that content remains secure. So as different groups or users are searching for information, only the relevant information that they have access to see, they'll be able to see that and click on those items that they can have access to. So in summary, I highlighted basically 3 different areas. The popular search features that Google provides, the relevancy that they provide, and the ability to secure content based on the credentials of the signed-in user. So that's really the key, the value prop that the GSA provides within a portal is, as you think about your portal user experience, users are going to be be able to be exposed to those features. They're going to have higher relevancy based as you compare what Google's able to do with all their signals and all the testing that they do to ensure that that search experience is the best that it can be, and then being able to secure that. So again, to reiterate, the portals don't come with these things out of the box. Now, if there are ways to expose some similar capabilities, but out of the box, most portals just don't have these capabilities. As you look at the list of all the various things that users are looking to have, and we'll get into. I'll discuss that a little bit further as we introduce GSA Portal Search Suite that Fishbowl's created. But I also wanted to move on and provide some analysis around and some data around how organizations have been able to quantify the business value of the Google Search appliance. Again, Fishbowl gets asked a lot. As you know, WebCenter Portal, Liferay, other portal systems come with an embedded search system. So really, it's taking a look at, well, tell me how the Google. Don't just tell me that it's Google. Tell me how exactly, based on my use case, it's going to help me save money, reduce costs, things like that. Well, again, being the market leader, the world's leader in search, Google's built out a lot of those use case analysis for organizations to help justify the cost and help them really prove out the value of this solution. One recent study that they worked on was with IDC, and it was called Why Search Matters, Quantifying the Business Value of Google Search Appliance Solutions. And so, and as a reminder, we will provide this white paper to anyone that registered for this webinar. And as they looked at what they wanted, the data that they were looking to find out from organizations, they profiled use cases for an intranet. So think of that as almost like your employee portal, your customer service portal, whatever your portal use case could be, a customer service portal or self-service portal, and a public-facing website. So they took a look at 13 different customers. On average, these customers had over 50,000 employees, and their search use cases were in the thousands. So the first thing they looked at was cost savings across 4 different categories: user productivity search, operation cost, operation margin, increased revenue, and TCO. So increasing user productivity, I touched on this earlier, where it's really about making searches efficient, getting the right information to the right person at the right time, and then freeing up their time from search activities while leveraging what they were able to find. So just having that information flow and collaboration, just getting that information, either acting on it yourself or sharing it with others. Reducing operation costs. So by finding the right information, sharing that with someone else, you might be able to create a new business process that saves money. On the increasing revenue side, this one they looked at capturing more revenue as a result of exploring search capabilities to speed up the time to market. So I mentioned a little bit about this earlier. So R&D departments, as they do their searches, there might be documentation from other sources that they find to leverage and build new products, build out new features, things like that. Through effective search, they can actually help reduce time to market for that. As far as reducing infrastructure costs, so again, the GSA, it's been out for 5+ years now. So getting it in and tuning it and getting it up and running, having it start index and crawl the various content that you have. In general, once that's all done, it actually drives down the cost of maintenance and the overall the deployment and overall maintenance cost of the solution when they compared that with other search solutions that the organization had been using previously. So staying on increasing user productivity a little bit, the metrics that they were able to find out with this study is that users in general find things quicker, more efficiently, and more easily. So they get answers more quickly with the GSA than they did with other systems. So if you look at just the rows here, the one that stands out the most is that there's just the amount of time that users spend basically gets cut in half as far as looking at the time that they spend actually searching doing their searches. Increasing the productivity for each search, so reduce the percent of searches where the relevant information was not found. So there's a lot of times where you do a search and a user doesn't find anything and they leave. They're like, okay, well, it doesn't exist. Well, if you're doing that in the context of your portal, as we talked about, you want the portal to be this gateway to information, to serve up all your information in your organization. Well, if the search doesn't enable that information to be found, they might leave and not come back. So these organizations were able to actually ensure that that didn't happen. And then just, again, availability of the search solution, through all the testing that they do of the hardware, and they've been able to put all their capabilities in this box that's very reliable and can scale. So there's not a lot of downtime. So again, comparing the GSA to the other search solutions that the organizations had in place, they were able to ensure that there was more uptime with the GSA. So loss productivity. So touched on a little bit about searching and when a user doesn't find what they're looking for. In this comparison, they looked at the previous search solutions that the organization was looking, and then they looked at across various categories of how many hours there were failed searches, how many hours of downtime, and how many hours of searching overall. The GSA was able to improve in every category for those criteria as well. So basically taking about 40 hours per year per user and getting that down to about 9 for the amount of time people spend searching across these various categories. So less failed searches, less downtime, and less hours spent actually searching for information. And then lastly, they kind of cumulatively took all these findings, from failed searches, uptime, things like that, and they did a little cash benefit analysis. So after initial investment of about $939 per 100 users, each year after that, with maintenance and support and maybe consulting and training, there's an incremental expense, but the benefits went up every year. So the benefits of just being able to find more information, reduce time to market, all those things, uptime, they were able to find that over about a 3-year span, per 100 users, you'll have a benefit of about $11,000. So again, just showing one example of one study that was done. With each organization, your search results are going to vary. They're not saying that everyone's going to have similar results, but again, just looking at the various, the critical things that make a search experience the best it can be within an organization, and being able to exploit the assets that have been created. Through this study, they were able to find that getting that information to the users through the GSA was improved significantly. So to summarize, there's a lot of content that gets created in an organization. They want to be able to get that relevant information to the users so they can really unlock the value and act on it accordingly. So also should mention that in this case, and I mentioned earlier that there's really these role-based, the GSA allows for this role-oriented search application. So if you're in customer service department or research and development, the GSA can be optimized or developed to ensure that your search experience best fits your use case. And across all those categories, they're really able to show that reduce the downtime, increase time to market. All those things were very key in showing that for these organizations that there's an upfront investment in a new search solution, that over time that investment will pay off, and they'll actually have a lot of benefits that they'll just continue to be able to extend across your organization. And really the last thing is you look at your portal and your use cases, keeping users coming back to the portal for that information. So you can look to the portal as the place where you're going to share that information, and then by extending the GSA to that portal, that the users that come will be able to find that information. So how has Fishbowl been able to bring those capabilities to WebCenter portal or Liferay portal? So again, I mentioned that out of the box, through the GSA and your portal, you're not gonna be able to experience all this stuff out of the box. So there, customization would be necessary if you wanted to have similar capabilities. So what Fishbowl has done is developed a product called the GSA Portal Search Suite that provides a standards-based way to basically expose Google-like search features and some of those business features in the context of a portal by ensuring that bringing the relevancy, the similar relevancy that you're used to in Google.com to WebCenter or Liferay. So again, I'm not going to go into a lot of technical detail on how we've been able to do that. Again, tune in next week for more explanation around that. But basically, it's a standards-based approach using JSR 286 portlets that can be exposed in the portal. So organizations can choose to mix and match those portlets on the search pages and provide those capabilities to users as they see fit. Again, the key is any content that is indexed, that you want indexed by your GSA, can then be surfaced to the portal, and then that's where it can be searched and found. So regardless of where that content resides, if your GSA indexes that content, it can be served up to your WebCenter Liferay portal. And it provides authentication. So we talked about the key components or capabilities, the benefits of the GSA in the enterprise. One of them was security, and with GSA Portal Search Suite, it provides silent authentication between the GSA and the portal. So if you're already logged into the portal, you don't have to log in again to be able to use the search capabilities and find the content that you already have access to. And jump over to my demo. So the first system I'm going to show is Liferay. So for those of you that have Liferay portal, the interface will look obviously different because the way Liferay is formatted and the user interface is different than WebCenter, but the capabilities are pretty much the same. So the first thing is, as I type Fishbowl, it's going to give me type ahead and suggestions. So as we mentioned, that is one of the features that is provided. So I can click on any of the things that are related to Fishbowl, including the company name, Fishbowl content, Google. I'm just going to click on Fishbowl. And here's my result set. So there's the other things to notice right away is what we talked about is there's dynamic navigation, faceted search over here on the left. There's also people search. So if I, for example, click on manage, or if I type in manager as my search, the people that are returned will be managers. So for example, there's a project manager, there's a application sales account manager. So again, if as you're doing your searches and you're not only looking for content, but you're looking for the people that can help you do your job, you can reach out to them and collaborate. That's included as well. Here's a suggestion for manager. Managed. So this is a suggestion. I wanted to also show spelling suggestions. So if I type document, did you mean document? So then I can click on that and it'll return results based on that. So let's go back to Fishbowl here, and I'll show how also it has a feature called key match results. So key match results is if you want to direct users to a website or a specific content item based on the keyword that was used. So for Fishbowl, the key match that we're showing here as an example is the feature result to get them to the Fishbowl website. There's also one-box results. So one-box results kind of are that one location on the results page that quickly directs the user to the content that is probably would be most relevant to them. You'll see this on Google.com for like weather and stock reports and things like that. So one-box results can also be exposed. And at the very bottom, you have feedback. So, or actually right above that are the dynamic results clusters that can also be exposed on the search page, and then as well as sharing your feedback. So as users are doing their searches, if they're finding that the results being returned based on the keywords that they're using or phrases, they can actually share that feedback, which again can be used to improve the search experiences across the organization. I also wanted to show collections. for example, if you wanted to search, if you have a lot of videos and you want to search just the videos, you can have those returned, and then I can sort those by thumbnails. So here's a collection of content relating to Fishbowl from our YouTube channel that get returned in the context of the portal. So a lot of flexibility here, a lot of features that, like I mentioned, we've all come accustomed to on Google.com, and now all these can be exposed in the portal. So that's kind of how Liferay looks. I'll jump over to WebCenter now. So this is our Show Me instance of WebCenter, and so we've deployed similar GSA Portal Search Suite portlets on this page as well. One of the things to notice here is, if we through dynamic navigation through Fishbowl, you can click on document type, and I can have content returned just for that document. Do another search here for Fishbowl to show that a little bit better. So on the dynamic navigation here, you can drill down into document type, or so I can, if I just want to see documents relating to Fishbowl and I want to see, for example, manuals or company overview and things like that, I can drill down through that through using dynamic navigation. And then we talked about previews. So if I click on the little magnifying glass, I can see previews for those content items as well. So again, I'm going to jump back to the webinar. I just wanted to show a little flavor of the various ways that those search features can be exposed and how they look. Again, next week, Kim is going to go into how we've actually done that and how you're able to mix and match those portlets on specific pages. All right, to kind of summarize, let me back up a second here. To summarize, Google search, if your Google search on your portal can really lead to a lot of things. So I mentioned this concept of the portal becomes the gateway to information. So providing that knowledge and content to the users when they need it, based on the keywords that they're entering. So being able to provide that from a portal perspective really helps engage them further and increase knowledge across their organization. Also being able to leverage the content that exists in all your repositories, serve that up to the portal, and through being able to, through search, find that information that maybe wasn't available through navigation alone. I shared some data from one of the analyst companies that did some analysis with 13 organizations and what they were able to find through cost savings and ROI. But basically what it comes down to is it really helps get information to users to help them do their job within their whatever role that they have within an organization. But at the end of the day, it's really about making sure that information can be found and shared and discovered. So regardless of where the content exists and what group you're in, there's a lot of knowledge to share across an organization. Obviously, there's the obvious ones about benefit information from an HR perspective, but as you think about the product teams or your service teams and how they work together, being able to discover information that's relevant across those various teams can help the collaboration process. So again, I mentioned this a couple times. This is part 1 in a series. We're going to continue with part 2 next week. And next week, the topic is going to be integrating the Google Search Appliance and Oracle Web Center or Liferay portal. So if you kind of want to learn the ins and outs of actually how we've done the integration and how to customize and mix and match the portlets for specific pages, we're going to go into a little bit more depth with that. And that's next Wednesday, October 22nd, same time. And if you want to register, the link's included at the bottom of this page. So to kind of wrap it up today, we're just so you know, Fishbowl, I mentioned this at the beginning of the webinar, we provide not only software components for the GSA, like the GSA Portal Search Suite, which I showed today, but we're also a reseller of the Google Search Appliance, and then we also provide services. So kind of a one-stop shop for all your Google search needs. We would consult with you and help you build out the search solution that fits your use case best. So with that, I was going to take any questions. Some questions have come in. If you do want to ask a question, there's a little questions box on the right-hand side. It should be on the right-hand side of the GoToMeeting, GoToWebinar interface. You just type in your question, and I'll see it. So one question is, the GSA Portal Search Suite, has it actually been released? Yes, we did release that product back in September, so that's available. Right now, it's available for WebCenter Portal or Liferay. I showed, the first poll question was what portal were you using. If you have a different portal and you want to engage with Fishbowl about that, you know, we will talk to you about that. But again, right now we're supporting WebCenter Portal and Liferay. It is another question about price. It is priced based on the GSA term that you have. So you know, we can answer more pricing questions kind of offline, and we'll make sure to get the account manager. We'll get the appropriate account manager to get back with you. So another question. Have you implemented the GSA with Oracle Web Center sites and or Oracle Web Center Portal in enterprises? Well, with sites, we have not implemented the GSA with the sites implementation yet, or with the sites use case. We have worked with customers on the portal side. We did that through more of our consulting engagement. One of the reasons why we packaged up some of that consulting services that we provided, we basically took those learnings and now packaged all that up into the GSA Portal Search Suite. So now you have this out-of-the-box solution that can extend search capabilities that I showed to your portal. So no with sites, but yes, we've already done similar. We've done GSA implementations with customers using Oracle Web Center Portal. All right. Well, there's a few other questions, but I want to be respectful of everyone's time. We will, for any other questions that did come in, we'll make sure to have the account managers for those accounts follow up. I did want to thank everyone for attending today. This webinar, as I mentioned, it was recorded, so you'll be sent a recording of the webinar, and then look for an invite to next week's webinar as well. So again, if you're looking to get a little bit more information and in depth, you know, technically how we actually did that, to integrate the GSA with WebCenter or Liferay, you'll want to tune into that. So we're going to send that email invite out today. But again, I want to thank you for attending today, and I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you.